Viewmasters, it's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters, talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters, my friend Eric and me, Joe. Viewmasters, hey, let's start the show.
Hello, welcome to the Viewmasters, episode 244, Wonder Woman 1984. My name is Joe.
My name is Eric.
Hello, Eric.
Hello, Joe.
Bum 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 bum. Oh boy, I told you before we started recording that I'm in a really weird mood today, so I figured I'd let the listener know as well.
Alright, well, if this is how you're going to express it, I approve.
I'm coming in hot.
Good.
Wonder Woman 1984 is the movie.
I am very excited that we are doing a sequel to a previous episode.
Did we? Oh, right. Yes, really glad that Kathy Lee Crosby came back for this one. You know, it's only been, 60 years.
Sure, still looks good.
She does, Yeah. She wears that bustier and that jumpsuit well.
It's a weird tack that the Wonder Woman movies are taking, kind of like how the X-Men movies are recently. By just doing, hey, every movie is 10 years apart.
Right, that is kind of interesting.
Yeah, new decade. I look forward to Wonder Woman 1994.
That'll be great. It'll basically just be Captain Marvel, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
What superhero movies came out in 94? Steel, I believe, came out in 1994. Maybe there'll be a crossover there.
Ooh, that'd be awesome. Bring back Shaq.
That would actually be incredible.
just fold Shaq into the Snyderverse.
Yes. Into the Snyderverse? That's going to be the... they're talking about DC having a multiverse. That's going to be the next big thing after Flashpoint is Justice League into the Snyderverse,
where we get to see all the versions of that movie
exactly
at once,
and played simultaneously.
Yep.
Look how much spikier everything is on one screen than it is on the other. Crazy.
Yep. And 1/3 of it will also be black and white.
That's true.
For some reason, because
yeah,
that's how I like my superheroes. Dull.
Absolutely.
Monochromatic.
When I think the Justice League, I think film noir. No, they watched Logan once and were like, "This is cool. We could do this."
Sure. Of course, didn't Logan do it because Mad Max Fury Road?
Did they? I don't know.
It came after, so I don't know.
It could have. Yeah, I actually didn't know that Fury Road did that. That's actually pretty cool.
Oh yeah, there's his. At this point, they all say this. Their preferred vision is in black.
Of course.
But there is a it's Fury Road Black and Chrome edition or something like that.
Okay.
And it has has the regular version and the black and white version as well.
That's cool.
And the black and white version is really good.
Nice.
It's not just, hey, let's turn down all the saturation. It feels artfully done.
Yeah, I can imagine a lot of the shots in that movie looking really cool in black and white.
Yeah. I cannot imagine that Zack Snyder would take such care.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So, all right, we're just going to turn down the contrast. Everything's black.
Yeah.
Like
black.
My soul.
Like my soul?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Well, I was speaking as Zack Snyder.
Oh, okay. I was speaking as me, so...
Oh, sure. Yeah. That's just assumed that you and I both have black hearts and black souls.
True. Very true.
It feels like a Friday Night Lights thing.
Black hearts, black souls.
Yeah.
Can't win.
Yep.
That's the Dark Multiverse Coach Taylor's motto. The Coach Taylor,
metal.
the Coach Taylor who laughs. Ugh. Anyway, Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah.
So this movie came out on Christmas Day.
Yep.
Came out in theaters and also on HBO Max.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've been on the internet or social media between then and now. A lot of takes about this movie.
Yeah, there are. I was getting pissed off.
Yeah.
I mean, my God. I mean, I know we are about to do probably a semi-spoilery review of it here that will be on the internet.
Right.
It'll be about a month from now, though, that it comes out. B, we're also warning people ahead of time that we may spoil some stuff.
Yeah.
And C, I'd like to say that we're keeping it in our pants for the most part. And nobody else fucking is.
It has become nigh impossible to exist on social media without being spoiled for something.
Right?
Even just from like a vague tweet or whatever is enough to, I feel like, if it's clever enough, it gives you the information.
Yep.
About whatever it is.
Oh yeah, I saw one that said something about Steve Trevor's character in this movie and knew exactly what the plot point was without having seen it yet.
That's obnoxious. It's obnoxious.
Yes, it is. What's even more obnoxious is that, as soon as this all started, I decided, okay, all this shit needs to get muted quickly.
Right.
And so to Twitter I sprang and went to my mute settings and set the words Wonder Woman 84, WW84, hashtag in front of all of them too. And it didn't work.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, it doesn't not everybody adheres to the hashtags.
Nope. Or even like people will just post a picture of something or just vaguely refer to it without using the title.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the Mandalorian just wrapped up relatively recently for us.
Yeah.
I assume you've seen through the end of that season.
I have indeed.
Okay. Did you get that spoiled for you ahead of time as well?
I did not.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I did. So.
Yeah. I think the episodes usually come out on a Friday, and I sleep during the day, so I'm not on social media while everyone is in a frenzy. And then usually, like, I would get up and just kind of fart around, and then like, okay, I'll watch Mandalorian. And I was able to do that without that happening.
That's awesome.
I do also have most Star Wars stuff muted too. So
sure. I wasn't spoiled for that by social media. I was spoiled for that by the site that I write for.
Oh.
And it was something where we had the best of post was going up that day. And I went into the back end of the site to make some last minute tweaks, and I accidentally looked in the image gallery and saw the specific thing that everybody was losing their mind about. So, I mean, there's really no way I can account for that.
I mean, I mean, at that point, it's almost your fault.
It's, you're absolutely right.
You don't want spoilers. Don't work for a pop culture website.
Yeah. I just, I know not to read, because we got recaps that go up. I know not to read those.
Right.
I just, didn't expect it. Didn't expect Luke Skywalker to be staring me in the face when I went in to add a comic book cover image.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's not your fault. That is... I mean, was it like the day it came out?
It was that Friday morning.
Jeez, no, okay, you're definitely not in the wrong. The person in the wrong is whoever uploaded that.
Well, I mean, it was within the recap was what it was there for.
Still,
and we say those recaps are include spoilers, so
sure,
we're warning the people who are looking at the recaps. It was just unfortunate. It was a series of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket.
I never had those spoiled for me.
No. I still haven't watched the second season. Is there a third season yet?
Oh yeah.
Oh man. All right, I'm way behind on that.
I mean, like, you and I started watching the first season when you still lived here, so...
Yeah, that's true. It has been a long time. I just lost all track of it.
I would highly recommend you go back and watch.
I tried to watch it with Jenny, and like the first I think they're just 2-parter stories. Mm-hmm. Is the one where the Count tries to marry the little girl.
Yeah,
and she was like, Jenny was like, I don't care for this. Like, what is this?
I mean, you're supposed to not care for it.
I told her that, but it didn't help.
Yeah, he is an evil, despicable man.
Right. Oh, Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah, there's an evil, despicable man in this too.
There is.
And
it's
his
called
name is
Men.
Jeff Johns.
Oh, zing! Speaking of coming in hot. So a lot of people, it seems like, hate this movie.
Uh-huh.
What did you think of it?
I did not care for it very much.
Okay. So not quite hate?
Not quite hate. I thought there were some pretty good moments throughout it. But overall, as a whole, I did not enjoy this movie.
Aw, that's too bad.
Yeah. For you and me both, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't like actively dislike it. Mm-hmm. There are definitely a lot of things I would change about it.
Yeah.
But overall, I enjoyed watching it. Mm-hmm. It was only after it was over and I started actually thinking about it that I was like, oh no, this is actually really bad.
Yeah.
I think my favorite sequence is probably the mall sequence at the beginning.
Okay.
Just sort of, it felt the most superhero-y of any of the DC movies has ever been, basically.
The current DC movies.
The current DC movies, yeah, since Man of Steel or whatever.
Because I will say that this reminded me exactly of a Richard Lester Superman opening.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Yeah, it definitely felt like it belonged in Superman 2 or 3, for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, even the opening sequence of Superman 3 is somewhat similar.
Yeah,
like it's just a bunch of people around Metropolis getting into trouble, and then Superman coming in and saving all of them.
Right.
And this was somewhat similar to that. In even just the way that it looked, I feel like was very reminiscent of that.
Well, sure. I mean, they are similar time frames.
It's true. 1983, 1984.
Yep. It is too bad that most of the special effects and stunt effects in this movie look like they were actually from 1984.
Yeah.
This movie looks cheap as fuck.
Yeah, I wonder, like, I don't know what to blame that on. Like, I've seen people say that, like this would have been more enjoyable on a big screen.
That's a bullshit excuse.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, I do feel like if I had seen this in a darkened theater with a big screen, I would probably have walked away with it slightly more positive.
Yeah.
But not that much more.
Yeah.
For the experience of it.
Right. Yeah. No, I think there are fundamental story problems with this movie.
Yeah. But yeah, there are like the convoy sequence in Egypt.
Yeah.
Where Wonder Woman is jumping from car to car and whatnot. Those, I mean, they look like Knight Rider bad.
Yeah, that was a real bad sequence. that was probably the least visually impressive action sequence, I would say.
Yeah. And then just I don't know, the just like the flying sequences seemed bad. Yeah, like to me, the most visually impressive portion of the movie was the mascara opening.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed that sequence, but it almost felt like did they blow their budget on that?
Right.
like something that didn't really even pertain to the movie at all.
Yeah, like if I was gonna look for things to cut immediately from the 2.5-hour runtime of this movie, the opening Themyscira sequence would have been the first thing to go.
Yep.
Because it is utterly inconsequential.
Absolutely.
Like, I understand why they, you want to bring Connie Nielsen and Robin Wright back because they're cool, or Robin Wright for sure is awesome.
Yeah,
but there's
some context for just a refresher course, I guess, on just Amazons in general and where Wonder Woman comes from.
Yeah,
but yeah, that entire sequence is ultimately pointless.
Yeah,
which is a shame because it's cool.
Yeah. It is very cool.
I would say another sequence that could be cut, even though I did find some delight in it, is the Steve Trevor fashion montage.
Can I tell you a thing that I think could be cut entirely from the movie?
Sure.
Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
It's really a shame because Chris Pine is fantastic. He's so watchable, and he's easily the best part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he is completely unnecessary.
You're not wrong. He is. I'm just going to come right out and say it. I don't think Gal Gadot is great.
Yeah, no, she's not.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a controversial statement.
Okay, all right. But I do feel like Chris Pine has so much charm and charisma that it rubs off on her. In their scenes together.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't necessarily even think they have chemistry. I just think that he is just so overpoweringly good.
Right.
But yeah, you're not wrong. He is mostly unnecessary to this movie.
Yeah, I mean they could easily. It's the fact that we're supposed to believe that Diana, who is we don't know how old Diana is. We don't know how old she was in the first Wonder Woman movie.
Sure,
but she meets this guy. and she knows him for, I guess, a week in the original Wonder Woman movie. I don't know, maybe 10 days.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
and then
long.
not long at all.
Yeah.
And then is a sad sack over him.
Would you
for
say
the
she's pining for him?
Oh. I would absolutely say that. But that she pines over this guy for the next 70 years is real sad.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and doesn't seem like, if there's something, you know, if you want to make the opening sequence relevant, and I mean, you know, something that comes back and actually means something later on, have her wish be that she can return to her home. You know, literally anything, you know, that's not just like, or this man that I knew. We had sex once.
Yeah. If you even want to make it about Steve Trevor, you know, or make his role in this movie relevant, I think even, you know, doing a flashback to, you know, an unseen moment between them, that we didn't see in the first movie, you know, something that, you know, doesn't rely on just, hey, do you remember the first movie?
Right.
You know,
it's back.
Yeah. Just, you know, something that shows us, you know, why she is so attached to him.
Yeah.
And, you know, could also be like, you know, hey, this is where she comes from and what she does, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
You know, I think that would have worked a lot better as well.
Yeah. I mean, there is definitely power in their relationship, you know, the role that he plays in her life as the impetus for her to, you know, leave the island and go out and become Wonder Woman.
Right.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just, you know, beyond just, oh, I love him.
Right. No, that bothered me a little as well. You know, just like they didn't know each other that long.
Yeah.
And then the mechanism for his return is real fucking weird.
It's real weird. Talk about totally unnecessary. Like, it's a good gag, I guess.
Sure.
But no. Yeah, I mean, ugh, fuck.
Yeah. And you know, we already said there will be spoilers.
Yeah.
The moment when Steve Trevor leaves the movie, I mean, it's supposed to be like this heart-wrenching, you know, choice that Diana has to make, and none of that comes through.
Yeah.
And not helped by the fact that, I mean, it's, you know, she kisses him goodbye around the corner of a pillar, and then turns and leaves.
Right.
And we literally never see him again. But it just looks like, you know, I mean, at that point, it looks like it's bad editing.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like,
and
like
just God.
the entire driving force of the plot to this movie is such a bizarre decision. Why they chose that to be the plot of this movie.
Yeah, are you talking about Steve, or are you talking about the Magic Wish Stone?
The Magic Wish Stone.
Yeah, that was real weird. I did not care for that.
No. I mean, I don't know what I wanted. I don't know what I expected, but it definitely wasn't essentially, you know, genies.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about, like, I had some reservation about Max Lord being the main villain of the movie, just because I don't, outside of the Infinite Crisis OMAC Project era, I don't think of him as being like a big threat type character. I don't know,
Right.
and I guess mind control obviously is a somewhat scary power, but
Sure.
there are also other Wonder Woman villains who have that ability.
Right. Dr. Psycho?
Dr. Psycho is exactly who I'm thinking of. Yeah.
So I mean, it should not be a secret to you. I love Max Lord.
I figured you had some fondness for him.
He is part of the comic series. I think that really hooked me into being a comic nerd, which was the Justice League International, which is
Right.
why I love Blue Beetle and Booster Gold so much, and Max certainly fits into that thing, and so for me, like, Infinite Crisis or whatever else he was the villain in, like, was such a betrayal of, like, everything
Right.
about those characters, that it's just always left a bad taste in my mouth. So him being, the choice to be the villain in this movie, and also with the history that he has being a Wonder Woman antagonist, which, this spoiler, she snaps his neck.
Right.
He
In the
kills him.
comic.
Yeah. Like, I guess I had, like, well, are they going to do that in this movie?
Yeah.
Like, is she going to, like, is this going to go dark and she's going to, like, kill him on live TV or something? But also the way that they did go with it was just bizarre.
It was just, it's really, like, I'm just baffled by it, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even really know what to say about it other than just what? Like, why? Why is this the direction in which they took this character?
And then tying the cheetah of it all into that thing too.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, I don't know Cheetah that well as a character. I mean, like, my major exposure to her as Wonder Woman's villain is via the Super Friends.
Same.
So I don't know what her deal is. But, I'm gonna guess probably not, someone who was nerdy and wished she was a cat.
I know that I've read other comics that Cheetah is in.
Mm-hmm.
She played a relatively big part in the Rebirth Wonder Woman series that Greg Rucka and Liam Sharp did. And if I remember right, there's something about her, like, she's tied to one of the gods somehow.
Okay.
Whether it's, like, as their servant or what it is, but I know there is a close tie between her and one of the Greek pantheon. And obviously that's not in play at all here.
No.
In the movie. She just, like you said, is a nerdy woman who wishes she was a cat.
Yeah, I mean, kinda.
Like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Sure. I got a ton of Batman Return vibes from her story arc too. So
yeah, Jenny even pointed it out while we were watching the movie. She was like, "Isn't this just Catwoman from Batman Returns?" And I was like, "Yep." But she didn't get chewed on and licked by cheetahs beforehand.
no, she just turned into a real bad CGI character. When, quite frankly, when she was rocking the punk rock look, I thought that was fine.
Yeah, no, I liked that a lot too.
Yeah.
She didn't need to go full cat.
Nope, not at all.
But she wanted to be an apex predator.
Mm-hmm. And
which is real weird too, because I thought you could only make one wish on the rock.
yeah.
The rules of the wishing rock are kind of flimsy.
Yeah. Well, the fact that it's a wishing rock.
I shouldn't have taken a drink.
No, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just burns a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and like each of the characters, I think they have their individual moments. I enjoyed, Kristen Wiig's initial transformation from, mousy Michelle Pfeiffer to badass Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
I enjoyed, Pedro Pascal, doing his thing.
I actually thought both of them were really great.
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig I really enjoy, and yeah, Pedro Pascal. I feel like he was in maybe the trailers. Was he trying to do not an accent?
I never really saw the trailers. I don't.
Okay.
Watch
I don't know
that much.
Maybe I was wrong about that, but yeah, it was nice to hear what I think is actual Pedro Pascal, even if he looked real weird.
I actually don't think he has much of an accent.
Oh, really? Okay.
Just from watching him do the Community reunion thing early on in the pandemic.
Right.
I don't recall him having much of an accent, but maybe he was putting that on too. I don't know.
Yeah. Sidebar, that was amazing.
Yes, it was.
Oh, I had forgotten all about that because that was 25 years ago at the beginning of the pandemic.
I will say that actually endeared me to Pedro Pascal way more than anything in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I think he's fine in The Mandalorian, but yeah, the Community thing just, oh man, it was so good.
Just the breaking was so great. But yeah, no, I thought both he and Kristen Wiig were really, really enjoyable, really watchable in this movie.
Yeah.
I just didn't really care for what they were doing.
Nope. And it got to the point where like halfway through, I was like, because I did really love that first movie.
Yeah.
And so like I started trying to justify it by saying that all the bad parts had to be Jeff Johns' fault, right?
That's what I've heard everyone say. And I really don't know, because there's so many bad parts.
There are.
Like, I don't know that can really be true.
It can't be. Jeff Johns wasn't there supervising stunts and special effects. And I mean, he contributed to the story, but, so did, Patty Jenkins, so.
Yeah, and probably, who knows how many other people contributed to the story as well.
Right. Did the Snyders have their hands, in this as well? I know they produced it, but.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I would love to only blame Jeff Johns, but I just can't, right?
Right. Unfortunately, yes.
Right.
Oh, boy.
I think, honestly, it's just more disappointing than it actually is bad.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because it is such a step down from the first movie.
Yeah.
And I think, though, what actually helps the first movie is that it is still kind of shrugging off the effects of, Man of Steel. And that it is essentially a bleak movie. But it has this just colorful, bright, positive character who is reacting to the bleakness around her.
Right. You're talking about Kristen Wiig, right? Because Diane is a fucking sad sack throughout this whole movie.
I'm talking about the first movie.
Oh, okay, gotcha. No,
yeah.
Gotcha.
But, you're right. She is the opposite in this one. It is a bright, colorful movie, and she is just a dreary black spot in it. But also, is that just because she's not a good actress? I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably a combination of factors. Like, she didn't have a great storyline to work with.
Right.
Probably didn't want to be there.
Oh, man, like her monologue scene at the end when she is fighting Max Lord.
Right.
It is barely... She is not actually interacting with Max Lord.
No, not at all.
She is just talking directly to the movie watcher.
Yeah, well, and there is an element of it is where she's not talking to him, she's talking to the people who are watching. So in that effect, she does it well. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's she's not in the same room.
Nope. It was real bad. It was just drawn out and poorly done, and she is just a blank.
Yeah.
And she has moments, but again, I'm just going back to the first movie where, I think those were spotlighted more than in this one.
Definitely. Yeah. I totally agree.
But ultimately it's just, I wanted this movie to be good, and it just wasn't.
Yeah.
And I think that's...
I mentioned the timeline of the first movie. I have no concept of what the timeline is for this movie at all. How long is this taking place over? Is it a couple days?
It seems like 3-4 days, maybe.
Yeah. But also, I don't think all that stuff could happen.
There was a lot that happened in those 4 days, for sure.
Maybe it's all, the results of the magic wishing stone.
Yeah. There are characters who are, traversing the globe instantaneously almost.
Yes.
I don't care how fast the plane is in 1984. I don't think that they could get to Egypt in that amount of time.
Yeah. I had a real problem with Max Lord's son suddenly being close by at the very end.
Yeah,
it seemed like wherever the broadcasting place was not in DC, it was elsewhere far away.
I thought it was supposed to be in a Caribbean island or something like that.
I pictured it as a NORAD type thing, so off in the mountains somewhere.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Definitely not DC adjacent, but apparently it was.
We got to get the kid there somehow. Maybe that was Max's final wish.
Yeah. Well, the kid kept wishing for wishes.
That's true.
But they also never came true.
Yeah, well, deadbeat dad.
Yeah. Also weird that Max Lord is a dad.
Yeah, it was, that almost felt to me like sort of a tacked on thing. We need to make him at least a little sympathetic. Let's give him a son that he's trying to impress.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of questionable stuff throughout, I think.
Yep.
I know stuff that I've seen people talking about online that I don't feel equipped to get into, probably, as me. But the Middle Eastern politics of it all.
Yeah, I saw some of that, and yeah, that is beyond me to get into. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that, if they had made it a story about, if they put more focus on the friendship between Diana and Barbara,
mm-hmm.
and then, even if they want to go with the magic wishing stone part, and then, maybe not have Diana make a wish, and then just, be focused on what's going on with Barbara, and I don't know. I don't know what to do.
No, yeah, me neither. I mean, if you want to use Max Lord and use him as like a weird Trump fill-in, you could give him his powers from the comic,
Yeah.
I think that would have worked better than, Magic Wishing Rock.
Right.
And that whole subplot of like the jewelry store that has a black market magical items shop in the back room.
That goes nowhere.
Nope, not at all.
The thing about the like bracelet or whatever that was on the rock that had the writing on it in the language of the gods.
Right.
Like that seemed like it was going to go somewhere, but nope.
Nope. Yeah, I thought, maybe we'll see, whatever god manipulated all this, but yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah.
Nope, it's just all Max Lord.
Oh well.
Yep.
Magic rock.
Yep. I don't know, maybe they were nervous after the kind of disappointment of having, the God of War show up at the end of the last movie.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I definitely get that and appreciate that it avoided another big CGI heavy battle between Wonder Woman and, essentially a giant monster.
Right.
So, yeah, I appreciated that was different.
Yeah. We did still essentially get that with the cheetah battle.
True.
Yeah.
That's true. All right.
And Wonder Woman's weird armor.
Her Kingdom Come armor.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah. This movie was not great.
Yep. And the wrap up when it's suddenly Christmas time.
Oh yeah.
And she meets not Steve Trevor. That felt tacked on and weird and artificial.
Yeah.
But not so much as the mid-credits clip scene.
Yeah, that felt like just okay. I understand wanting to have Linda Carter make a cameo.
Sure.
But save it for something.
Yeah, I mean, she could have done that in any other portion of this movie.
Yeah, she really could have.
Yeah. She could have been, Diana's boss at the museum. Or,
right.
Steve Trevor's mother. I don't know.
I mean, I guess it is kind of cool that she's that, whatever the name of that Amazon character was, who was the one who held back the hordes of man while the rest of the Amazons escaped to Paradise Island.
Yeah.
But, otherwise it just felt kind of like a waste.
Yeah. And I feel like, like something like that, I don't know, maybe I'm just trained by the Marvel movies. But, it feels like, okay, this is something that's going to come back in the next movie.
Right.
But I did not get that feeling at all from this.
No, absolutely not.
Like, it is just, oh, hey, let's have this, actress show up. Because people remember her.
That's sort of how I felt about the Invisible Jet sequence, too.
Yep.
Like, it was totally unearned, like, oh, well, I have, just out of nowhere, I can make stuff invisible. Just like my dad Zeus.
Right? Oh, man, yeah. Just like, yeah, once I made a coffee cup disappear, let's see if I can try it again.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Yep.
Like, maybe show us her doing that with the coffee cup earlier.
Sure, yeah.
To, it just a little bit of foreshadowing. That's really all I'm looking for. Just I don't need a ton of work here.
Some cohesive storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh well, indeed.
Yeah.
They're doing a third one.
Yep. Maybe it'll be better. Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I they hear some of the criticisms and are able to make some adjustments.
I hope so too. And it is, like I keep seeing this thing online, the only two choices that you have, when you watch a movie is it's garbage or it's amazing.
Right.
But that is not true at all. And people are definitely overreacting in their, takes and feelings about this movie.
Yeah.
But, but also structurally, it's not good.
Yeah, there are a lot of things to complain about the movie.
It's by far not the worst movie I've ever seen, for sure.
Definitely not. Yeah.
And I would apologize for picking this movie, but we both would have watched it anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't think an apology is necessary. I have enjoyed talking about it, and it's helped me sort of clarify the way that I feel about it. So
good.
No apology necessary.
Yeah. It's so weird because this movie was delayed so much they could have worked on it
right?
a little more, right?
Yeah, just just tinker with the effects a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, did they add on the Christmas sequence once they realized that they were going to be releasing it on Christmas?
I mean,
to make it a Christmas movie.
I do my whole Wikipedia, search, on movies that we watch sometimes.
Yeah.
And there wasn't much, to this one, but apparently its original release date was supposed to be December 2019. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But, yeah, and then just kept getting pushed back. But yeah, I honestly did think the exact same thing that you just said, though.
Oh boy.
Because it also looks like it is just, filmed in like the smallest soundstage that they could find real quick.
Yeah, like so we How Did This Get Made did a couple of live streams where they talked about bad Christmas movies.
Yeah.
And one of them was a Lifetime Christmas movie. And parts of it took place in like this, Santa's village that was set up in this small town, and it just is the shittiest set that you've ever seen. And that's the vibe that I got from that sequence at the end of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they found a Santa's village somewhere, or hastily threw this together.
Yep. That is exactly what I felt like as well. And then I feel like they also used the exact same set, but they just cleared off all the snow, and they used that for the Linda Carter thing.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Get them next time.
Yeah, I hope. Because, I mean, I'm not asking for rankings here, but this is not a great movie. It's, I think, still the second best DC movie that's come out.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah. And the first one being the first Wonder Woman.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do sort of want to watch it again. I think it'd be a good have on while I'm doing other stuff movie.
Right.
Because I don't know. There are parts that I like. Like I said, Chris Pine is eminently watchable.
Sure. I really like him, and especially when he does weird shit.
Yeah, right. He's really good at humor.
Yeah.
I would like to see more of that.
The first Wonder Woman and with Star Trek, he's definitely, got that leading man movie star presence, but then he does weird things, like even within those roles, but also just some of his like more obscure movies. Have you ever seen the movie Stretch?
No, I've never heard of that.
It's a Joe Carnahan movie. I think it was a next Netflix exclusive. It's got Patrick Wilson in it.
Okay.
It's kind of an action movie, but not really. But Chris Pine plays just this crazy weirdo who hires Patrick Wilson to drive him around town for a night. and it's just this over the top, but also very subtle. I mean, like, his character first appears by parachuting naked onto a hill.
Of course.
He's just got this crazy beard and long hair, and it's just real weird, and he is just amazing in it.
Nice.
I would recommend it just for his role in that movie alone.
Awesome. All right.
But yeah, I like that guy a lot.
Yeah, he's grown on me a lot over the past couple of years.
I would dare say he might even be the best Chris.
Oh, I don't know that I'd go that far. Certainly not the worst Chris.
Definitely not the worst Chris, yeah.
So what's making you happy this week?
I hate saying the phrase discovered, because I clearly did not discover this thing.
You personally discovered it.
Yeah. I became aware of a cartoon that I think recently ended its season, its first season. There was a cartoon some years ago called Gravity Falls.
Oh yeah,
which I absolutely love. Like might be one of my favorite cartoons ever. There's a new one that's created by some of the people who worked on that show. And the creator of Gravity Falls is like a creative consultant, and he does a couple voices on this one. But it's called Owl House. And I just binged like the first season of it, or like over the weekend.
Nice.
And it is fantastic. Like it did literally bring me joy watching it.
That's awesome.
It is about a girl who, she is wrapped up in, like, sort of Harry Potter-esque books and obsessed with, witches and stuff like that, which is causing her a lot of trouble in the real world. And she winds up somehow going into another dimension where witches are real and magic is real, and there's just all sorts of weird, fucked up creatures who just kind of live and hang out. And she just winds up getting sucked up into all these adventures, and it is just really, really great and endearing and hilarious and weird, and I loved it a lot.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Is that available to watch anywhere?
I don't believe it is currently streaming anywhere.
Okay.
But it is a Disney show, so I'm assuming at some point it'll be on Disney Plus. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have heard a lot of good things about Gravity Falls, and I've seen a little bit of it, but I haven't seen much. But that's definitely a show that's been on my list to watch for a while. So
I would also highly recommend that. There's I hear conflicting reports about whether Owl House is like an official spinoff or not, but I guess there are like little nods to Gravity Falls here and there in the show. So
nice,
but none that I caught. But also I'm kind of dim and don't pay attention very well and have a terrible memory.
Sure, definitely. Oh.
Oh, what about you, sir?
Let's see. This past weekend, I don't know what inspired this, but I was thinking about a DC comic series from the late 90s called Young Heroes in Love.
Oh, yes.
And so I decided to read all of that over the weekend.
Nice.
It was 18 issues, including the 1 million issue.
Yep.
And it was just delightful. It was really fun. I don't know what I expected from it, other than maybe I expected it to be a little dirtier than it was, but it was also, the late 90s.
Right.
I imagine if it came out now, it would be like a Black Label series or something.
Of course.
But yeah, it's written by Dan Raspler, drawn primarily by Dev Madden.
Yeah.
I think Keith Champagne inked the majority of it. And yeah, it was just it was like I said, it's a short series, and just a lot of fun. So that's probably the sort of unexpected thing, I guess, that brought me a lot of happiness just in the past couple days is reading that series and thinking about it, and I'm trying to think if there's something else that I can do related to it,
right,
in another capacity.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my pick.
I actually have quite a few of these issues. I'm missing 2.
Okay.
But I know, there's a comic shop locally here that occasionally rents out like a VFW hall and has like these crazy sales.
Yeah.
And it's the only time I really try to support that guy because he sucks otherwise.
Right.
So at one of those sales, I think I bought like 16 out of the 18 issues.
Nice.
For like, a quarter each, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm missing issues 4 and 17, but I haven't read them because I don't have the full series.
Right. That's a great quarter box dive series to look for.
Yeah.
Like there are definitely, sometimes I'll just get an itch to look for something, but only when I'm digging through long boxes.
Right.
So yeah, that's perfect long box dig fodder.
But I feel like, like what year, like 97, 96, something like that?
Yeah, it was like, I think it debuted in 97 and then ran
wrapped up.
Well, yeah, because DC 1 Million was 98, so yeah.
I just feel like that era of DC is, and maybe it's just because age, I don't know, but that was like one of my favorite eras of what they were putting out, because they put out a lot of weird stuff like that. Just like left of mainstream, and even like their just straight superhero stuff was just just enough off kilter, and definitely before the Jeff Johns era. So
right
to tie it all back.
As you mentioned it, I remember what inspired this now is that I have a friend who writes for another site who is doing a project where she is reading not every comic that DC put out between 1996 and 2001, but a large number of them, and primarily focusing on those sort of offbeat books that DC was trying a lot of different stuff at the time.
Right.
And I think that's Young Heroes in Love was on her list. I think that's probably what was in my brain as I was like, I'm going to read this weekend because I've never read it.
Yeah. They put out some great stuff. Like, do you remember Vexed?
Yes, the Keith Giffen, Mike McKone series.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a really weird book.
Yes, it is. I remember, because the character premiered in like one of those Secret Files and Origins things.
Yeah,
and his like file card page, like halfway through, it's just becomes gibberish.
Right.
And I think I read that and I didn't realize that was the joke. Because he is the god of misfortune and mishap.
Right.
And he gets banished to Earth because he doesn't have enough worshippers. And it's just him, just dealing with life, and also, the other random gods who nobody worships anymore, like Ripta Gooden, the god of ill-timed farts.
That's an amazing pull off the top of your head.
I have always remembered Ripta Gooden.
From a series that ran for 6 issues.
Yep.
20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Can't remember what the fuck I did yesterday, but was worried I wasn't going to be able to remember the movie that we just watched enough to talk about it. But yes,
You know,
I know Ripta Gooden.
If Ripta Gooden had been in Wonder Woman 1984, it would have made it an infinitely better movie.
4 stars, no doubt.
But yes, all of Young Heroes in Love is available to read on the DC Universe app.
Nice.
If you have access to that.
I don't believe I do anymore.
Aww.
At least not as a streaming channel.
Right, yeah, because they took all the video content down.
Yep. Well. Yeah. So, do you still want to keep doing this in the year 2021?
You know, I gave it some thought. Yeah, of course I do.
Okay. Then let's find us a movie to watch for the new year.
Okay. I'm looking at my list and I feel like everything I have on here is a real bummer. So I'm gonna pick what I think is maybe the least bummery movie.
Alrighty.
But I don't know.
Okay.
It's a movie that's on Netflix. And let me know if you've seen it already. It's called What Happened to Monday?
I have not.
Okay. It's a
sci-fi movie, isn't it?
It is a sci-fi movie. It's like oh crap, the actress who was the star of the original versions of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Numi Rapace.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, totally blanked on her name, but yeah, I believe she plays like septuplets.
Yeah.
And they they're all named after days of the week. And one goes missing. So what happened to her?
Yeah. I have not seen this movie. I will. It's been one of those that occasionally pops up, and I'm like, I'll wait.
That's kind of how it's been for me too. Like, it sounds like a neat concept. I've just never been in the right mood for it. So
right, yeah.
Now I have to be.
Okay, me too. All right, we'll do that then.
Excellent. What happened to Monday?
Alrighty, well, it's the day before New Year's Eve that we're recording this, so, and like almost February for the listener. But I will say to you personally, Joe, have a Happy New Year.
You as well. I hope your New Year's Eve is relatively uneventful.
I hope so. I mean, it's a Thursday, so it's the night that I basically stay up all night anyway.
There you go.
So it's just going to be real boring and kind of sad, and maybe I'll get drunk. I don't know.
Awesome. I saw that Joel McHale and Ken Jeong are hosting the New Year's Eve festivities on Fox. So maybe that'll be worth watching.
Huh. Like, virtually?
I guess. I don't know.
Huh. Oh man, like I was thinking, are people going to be doing like the Times Square thing and just fucking spreading this pandemic out even more and making it till like 2022 before we can do anything?
I'm sure that most of it will be virtual. I can't imagine.
I hope so. Like, I know that the vaccine is allegedly out there. I do know 2 people who have gotten it.
Oh, nice.
But it's also still just out of reach enough that we should still be careful.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, even if it's, almost February, continue to wear a mask, continue to wash your hands.
Yep.
Continue to stay home as much as you can.
Exactly. Let's get rid of this thing before we start doing stupid shit.
Yes.
Then we can start doing stupid shit again.
Just like we did before.
Exactly. All right, sir.
Happy New Year to you as well. Happy almost Groundhog Day to the listener. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. You can subscribe to the show directly at view.guttertrash.net or at iTunes and leave us a review. Visit view.guttertrash.net for email information and links to Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time on The Viewmasters.